Welcome to the channel, everyone. Model Car Guy Rich here. As always, I hope you're having a fantastic day. Thank you for stopping by. Today I'm going to do a build on the AMT construction bulldozer. This was a gift sent to me by Uncle Mike and Aunt Judy, and I absolutely appreciate the heck out of it, and thank you guys so very much. We're going to get on and put this together and see what we can do. So, alright, I'll be back in just a minute. Alrighty folks, quick update. The engine is coming along nicely. A whole lot of detail on this thing. A lot of stuff I don't know where it's supposed to go and that, so I'm delaying putting some parts on until I get other parts on to make sure that the alignment is correct. Like this hose here in the instructions was supposed to go on before this pump on the back, but the little hose that comes off of this had to line up with this pump on the back, so I put the pump on first, then put this water pump on and line the hose up properly. Alright, be back in a little bit. So everything appears to be going together well. My only real complaint so far is that none of the parts trees are labeled. They have, none of these have numbers on them. Everything is labeled on the back of the box. So you basically got to dump everything out and figure out a way to hold this giant box here in your hand and try and figure out where your parts are. So that's the only real complaint. And then the instructions are not really the greatest. Okay? They, like here for part 2 for the frame, they talk about part number 42, or 2 fenders. So you go over to the little tree here, the labels, and it says 42 is a fender and 43 is another fender. Okay, but the instructions say they're both 42. Then you would assume, because it says 42, 2 fenders, that they are identical. But then when you get to the actual part, they're not identical, they're different. So you need to be very careful about which fender goes where. Number 42 is actually what we'll call the driver's side, the left side. So if you go to build this, make sure 42 is your left fender and 43 is your right fender. They go in the little notches that are on the frame, and they fit on there fine. I've used a bunch of clamps and some glue to keep them on. They're drying right now. I've been at it about 2 or 3 hours today. I've got most of the engine complete, and then started working on the frame. And of course, this particular piece of frame is warped. That one's straight, but this one is warped, so that's gonna cause a little issue when it comes time to put it together. But I've been stretching it and heating it up a little bit, and it's coming along nice. So alrighty guys, I may end up stopping for now, and I'll come back tomorrow and or later tonight and continue on. So thank you again for being here. I'll be right back. Just another quick update, guys. Engine is installed and everything is coming along nicely. The warpage, I stretched on it, bent it up pretty good, and finally got the engine to lay into the little frame parts evenly. So I've glued down the back end first, and then in a few minutes I will attach the 2 front spots, and that should solve the issue. And next on to the under part of the frame and completion of the build, hope. Can't wait to get into the tracks, because there are no instructions on how to put the tracks together. I'll explain more when I get to that part. Thanks again for watching. Back in a minute. Okay guys, real quick, I messed up and made a mistake here. These side pieces that go to the frame, okay, they locate, the corner of this locates on that. No big deal. Both sides, let them set up and you're good. But when it comes to installing the engine, you have to put this back of the fan shroud between the fan blade and the pulleys. Okay, now I did that. However, before I attached the radiator and the radiator guard, I glued this piece to this front piece of this side panel here. These are the radiator and engine side guards, they call them. Okay, it does not glue in front of this little rib here and set on this little notch. Okay, this piece you can either glue it flush on this edge, or if you can fit it in there, even put it behind it. But because this and this are too close together, it wouldn't fit in there. So I put it between the two, because the radiator has this little notch right here on the bottom of the side. That's what sets into this piece on both sides. Then once that's set in, you'll glue this in on these lips or edges, whatever, in front of this rib, and it rests on this little part here. Then this will fit into, there's little notches on the side of this and up at the top. They don't show it here, but they are at the top. They fit into the top of the radiator shroud here and here, and then these little tabs go onto each side of these side guards. So caught it in time, separated the glue that I had already had on there that was setting for a little while. You can't really see it right now because of the way I've got the tape on there, but you'll see that from the back, if I can get the light in there, from the back, this is the fan shroud, and it fits flush on this rib, side to side, on both sides. Then the actual radiator piece goes underneath it. So that was my bad. Alright, be right back. Here's another update. A lot of pieces in this kit, which is nice. It's definitely a challenge, but because I've never built, this type of vehicle before, I'm taking my time because I have no idea where half of these things go. But it's enjoyable. I've managed to drill out some holes to make these little levers fit better. I drilled out a bunch of holes on these little pieces here to make those levers fit nice. Same with all the controls and shifter and all that. Went a lot easier than waiting for the glue to dry as you hold it. So I glued them in, but I also put holes in them to give them a positive stop. So that worked out nice. Coming along. Alright guys, so it's time to do the tracks. They come like this, two separate trees like this. I've gone ahead and cut one section off of the tree. I want to show you how it looks. It's not too bad. They're all numbered. Of course, it looks like I've got a piece missing, but I won't know until the very end. They're numbered, and I want to show you the easiest way I found to put them together. Here's the go in sequence. Okay, so I start with number 1 here, 2, 3, 4, and here's 5. What I found the easiest way so far is to put one edge in, slide it over, and then I use a little pair of tweezers, spread it around, whoop, and click, whoop. Well, it was clicking in real easy. Of course I put it on camera and it's going to be difficult. There it goes, and it clicks in. So far that's the easiest way I've found. Trying to do it by hand was putting too much pressure on the little pins, and it was starting to bend them a little bit, and I didn't want to take a chance of breaking them. So I just thought I'd show you guys that. Like I said, just keep going in numerical order. 0 is 10, and 9 and 6 are the numbers face this way, so 9 is the other direction. Again, slide it in. Maybe if you had a small pair of pliers that would work too, but clicking it like that just seems to go real easy. This kit's been a challenge, but a very good challenge. I'm I'm enjoying it. It's nothing been frustrating except for the directions, of course, which are lacking. Okay. Of course, the more of these types of vehicles you build, the easier it'll come, the more it'll make sense. So far, the biggest issue I had was putting the track bars together, whatever those are called. The instructions, like for here, it says part number 103, 4 track rollers, 2 pieces each, and they show you this, and that's it. 2 pieces each, so there's 2 here, and they go on this one. Then you'd assume the other side, we'll call this the driver's side, that's for this side. Passenger side would get the same setup, but this little arrow right here, which really confused me, because I thought at first that this piece went in here, and it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. But there's a whole nother set of these that go into this piece right here, which is right there and there on both sides. So once I opened my eyes and figured that out, everything seemed to kind of go a little easier. But it's coming along. Again, I'll have probably another hour and a half or so putting these tracks together, and we'll take it from there. So as always, thanks for watching. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're moving right along on the AMT construction bulldozer. I gotta tell you, this kit is a challenge. It's very pleasurable to put together once you figure out where everything goes. The instructions are horrible, but once you take your time and think it through, and then things start making sense, it goes together fairly well. Most difficult issue I've had so far is getting this bar right here to attach to the track. Originally, I thought I would be proactive and glued it to the track prior to installing it on the vehicle, only to find out that there's a big hump right here that this wouldn't clear because the peg was sticking out of the drive wheel in the back there. So I had to painstakingly pull this off of this, and then you see I used tape to actually clamp it on, because I don't have clamps large enough to do that kind of a thing. So other than that, it's coming along. I ended up having to take a few of the pieces off of the top side in order to get it to lay down here without breaking anything off. So that's just ready to be placed back on. It's already been on there, and I removed it. So alrighty, working on the shovel now. The whole deal. It was all individual pieces, which I thought was interesting. Well, there it is, folks. That's the AMT construction bulldozer, kit number Alpha 1086-200. It was a pleasure to build. However, it was a huge challenge to build. I enjoyed the challenge, but Round 2, who handles the AMT kits, please, guys, if you can hear me, please revise the instructions on this kit. They're absolutely horrible. Okay? I imagine if you built this type of a kit all the time, it would make sense to you. But this is my first construction bulldozer that I've put together, and man, I gotta tell you, a lot of mistakes. Went back, redid things. Now, part of the issue that I had personally was the paint that I used was a Krylon paint, and it was absolute garbage. It did not allow the glue to adhere properly, so that's on me. But still, the instructions, there were many parts where things just didn't make sense. Once you put it together and you see how it goes, and it's like, okay, the light comes on and you just move on. But boy, it was a toughie. So there it is. I want to give a huge shout out to Uncle Mike and Aunt Judy. I appreciate it. This is a kit you sent me back in February. I got around to doing her. There's the drawbar. And that's it. This one will go up on the shelf. So thank you again, everyone, for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the content, and I will see you on the next one. This is Model Car Guy Rich out. Keep on modeling.